Sorry? Business plan, exactly. Yes, yes, exactly. So in that I taught you about business plan, fi- financial plan, market plan, operation plan, funding plan, technical feasibility, market feasibility, exactly. Environmental feasibility. Environment, I didn't talk about environment feasibility yesterday. I thought I should touch about this. Do you know what is environment feasibility? Do you know about economic feasibility? Okay, I'll tell you today what is economic feasibility, what is environmental feasibility. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. I can't make out. 7 BM CLM, that's yours? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, fine. In the attendance, we'll note it down. Anyway, yeah, I could not trace your name. These international calls come like this. So, I thought a person has put his name like this. Okay. Okay. So, I'll tell you what is economic feasibility. Okay. When two people are still entering. Okay. So what is economic feasibility? Does anyone know what is economic feasibility? I'm leaving the floor open to the class. Anybody has heard of economic feasibility? No. Now this is a big thing. As a businessman, you should be aware of this. If I'm going to launch a product or service, does my product or service have the capability of being purchased by general public? Does my business have is it very expensive? Is it cheap? That's what you should be aware of. Is it possible that the people are going to think about their money when they buy the products or services? Okay, so that's a question. Is am I going to make profits? I'll give a very good example which I realized today. What happened was I was just looking at international flight tickets, and I was looking at flight tickets from let's say a city like Mumbai to a place like Qatar. Okay, I was just looking at the price of the ticket and I was really shocked. The price of the ticket was showing me 1 lakh rupees for this month. Okay, so I was really surprised. How did the flight cost come up to this much? Then, when I noticed in the airline website itself, it's mentioned why the flight costs are high. Inside the flight, they keep a social distance, and because of this, flight tickets are high. Then I thought, okay, let me see for the month of June. For the month of June, the flight tickets are showing me 50,000 rupees. And all international destinations, the flight charges have gone up. So I was thinking, what happened to these airlines? Why are they charging such high prices? But what happens is airlines want to take super profits. They want to earn super profits during crisis like this because they know that a lot of Indians who are abroad want to come into India. A lot of foreigners who are in India want to leave this country. So airlines want to make good profits. So what they do is they raise the prices. And this is a problem of feasibility for these businesses. These businesses want to make super profits so that they make up for the loss which they made in the last 2 months. That's economic feasibility. And the last thing is environmental feasibility. Okay, what is environmental feasibility? That's a question. Guru Prasad, did you hear about economic feasibility? Yeah, good afternoon. What did I tell you about economic feasibility? Uh, don't know. You joined late, no? I'll ask Salim. I'll ask Salim what he understood. Salim, you're there. Salim, speak. Mohammed Salim, speak. Yeah, what is economic feasibility? What did you understand? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Did you read about the flight charges from any country to India or from India to any country? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Why it's doubled, you know? Yeah. 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 So what they're doing is the other person's ticket they're charging on you. Okay, not just you, any international person. Within the country, we have, yeah, so they are in loss. So their business is such that they want to recover it from people. But what happens is people are smarter. So people might stop traveling because of this. So yeah, so Guru Prasad has written a definition of economic feasibility. So my problem when I'm as a businessman, my problem as an entrepreneur is can I make profit from my business by my prices? Okay. India is the most price sensitive country in the world. I have not, it might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. Okay. I don't know how many of you know it. In India, what happens is people are not really bothered if the price comes down, but people are bothered if the price goes up. Let's say the flight charges go up, Indians will not travel. If but in most countries, it's not like the people are not bothered. People are not bothered if price goes up or goes down. But in our country, we are really bothered because what happens is we think about generation, we think about our children's children. You know, that's how we think. Okay, so what happens is Indians, when they think that the price is high, they stop using a service. They might not, you might not see people in airports, you might not see people traveling anywhere, but the rest of the world might travel. You know, you might see Chinese traveling, you might see Americans traveling in spite of high prices, but we Indians are really careful. So what happens is businesses need to be aware of this. And another thing I need to tell you is about environment feasibility. What is environment? Okay, environment is like the business I start up. Is it possible that the business can survive in a place like this? Is it possible that the business can survive in a forest? Is it possible that my business can survive in a city? Is it possible that my business can survive in a desert? That's a question. You know, let's say, let me tell you about the place I stay. I stay near what do you call, forest. I stay near a place which has a lot of rivers, a lot of rain, heavy rain, and all. So only certain businesses can be set up in these places. You know, most of places like this, you can't start all kinds of businesses. You can't start up an airport. Okay, there was a plan to start up an airport in my district, but what happened is 2 years back we had a flood, and then we realized how dangerous it could have been if we started an airport. all the planes would have been floating in the water. So you have an issue with that. What is your state environment? What is the environment of, let's say, Bangalore International Airport? That's in a place where there are no rivers, where there is not much people. It's safe to run an airport in such a place. So whenever you start a business, you should see what is the environment like in that place. Environment is not in any human being's control. Okay, it's land, water, air, nature is not in my control, it's not in your control, it's not in anybody's control, but we can control some factors. Never in my dream you can think that an uh, what do you call Bangalore airport can get flooded, because it's not surrounded by water bodies, it's not surrounded by lakes. But certain places, airports can get flooded. Okay, it's dangerous to start airports in such places. In spite of all this, we had one of the airports in this state getting flooded. That was the Cochin airport. That was the first time that airport got flooded, and you had no flights going anywhere. So, what happens is your business should be set up in a place where environment is conducive for running the business, be it an airport, be it a restaurant, be it a college, be it any business. Okay, any business you want to set up, the environment should be ready for it. That's the problem which most businesses have today. Today, why most companies in Bangalore find it difficult to work is because BMTC is not running. But let's say 1 week down the line, BMTC starts to run, problems in the city might get solved to some extent. Okay, with people working can get solved. So you should have an environment which is helpful for running your business. Your business should not be in a place like, let's say, the Saharan desert. It should not be in a place like Cherrapunji, which gets the maximum rain. It should not be in a place like Sahara, which has maximum temperature, or it should not be in a place like Antarctica, which has minus 100 degrees centigrade. Is it clear? Is it clear about environment? Sabah, you're there? Yeah. So environment is important, and environment is given to us by Mother Nature. I don't know. Last week or before that, we had World Earth Day. So we have a lot of people who are realizing how environment is important. One of the best things about this lockdown I read was, I don't know how far it's true, is I read that standing in places like Amritsar, you can see the neighboring Himalayan mountains. Okay, standing. So what has happened is the air has become cleaner. I even happened to see have a friend of mine who sent me a picture of the Amritsar temple in Punjab from his window in Noida. So I was wondering how many kilometers is it and how the air has become fresh. Most of you must have seen drone pictures of Bangalore city, how the air in Bangalore city has become fresh because of this lockdown for the last 2 months. You must have seen how birds, Mother Nature, have come around. Even as I am used to this birds in my place, but in most cities in India, Bangalore, Mumbai, we are seeing in the heart of the city, we are seeing birds, we are seeing uh, reduction in temperature, we are seeing reduction in greenhouse gases, we are seeing a lot of change, people being able to breathe better because of this lockdown. That's one positive thing which has happened uh, because of this lockdown. Lavita, do you see anything good? Do you understand what is environment? Do you see anything good happening environmentally in your area? Anything which has become better for a businessman in your area? No, nobody's speaking. I've lost connection or what's happened. Kevin, Kevin, you are there? Okay. Uh, Kevin, can you speak, Kevin? Yeah. You are in Bangalore? Are you in Bangalore? No. Okay. Have you seen anything? Have you seen the pollution come down in this city because of lockdown? No? My God. You didn't see or you didn't understand my question. Okay. What they say is the temperature has come down in most parts of India. The pollution has come down. People are having less and less of breathing troubles because of less and less vehicles. Do you see vehicles on your road, Kevin? No. You see vehicles on your road. Are you in Bangalore? Okay. Okay. But the vehicles are lesser than before, right? Okay. So what has happened is vehicle pollution has come down. You know, the biggest environmental feasibility, the biggest problems because for doctors who treat ailments relating to asthma, to some extent in cities like Bangalore, when I speak to some doctors, they tell me they don't have patients coming with some breathing troubles because of dust, because of asthma, and more of these diseases are relating to COVID. So, what has happened is your environment has changed. Your environment has changed to become people being more cleaner. There is demand for hand sanitizers. As I said in my last classes, there is more demand for soaps, more demand for home cleaning equipment. There is more demand for Harpic, Lysol, Dettol. You know, that's the environment. People don't want today to live in a place which is unclean. People don't want to think about staying a day without taking bath, without washing their hands. You know, uh, let me tell you frankly, I have never used soap at least till the last 2 months. It's since the last 2 months while washing hands for food, I've started using soap. So that has led to a lot of purchases by uh, not just me, but by everybody into all this hand cleaning products. So, as somebody said somewhere, I have used more alcohol on my hands than inside my body in the last 2 months. So, this is what happens because of the current environment. People have all of a sudden changed their focus to their health than anything else. Any questions so far? Any questions? Anybody can unmute. Who is this iPhone person? Is it Raza? Who is iPhone? Okay, okay. Okay. Oh, I understand what is the problem. It's a problem in my setting. Okay. It's a problem in my setting. I'll change it once the class is over. Okay. So let's come to the next chapter. Our next chapter, write it down, class. Ecosystem supporting the growth of entrepreneurs. What is the ecosystem? The biggest issue with this kind of teaching is I don't know whether people are really listening or am I speaking to walls. That's the biggest problem. And can you believe it? There are very funny things happening around as I'm speaking. There are a lot of things. I don't want to distract myself with these things. With nature. Okay, somebody is coming now. Lavit again. Okay, so what is ecosystem? Does anyone know what is ecosystem? No. Ecosystem is the environment around the business, okay, which supports the business. Let's say why there are a lot of colleges running in Bangalore, why there are a lot of pubs running in Bangalore. One of the main reasons is because there is a lot of IT companies. So what happens with these IT companies is they directly and indirectly fuel this economy compared to most other cities. This ecosystem controls the city of Bangalore. Whereas a city like Mumbai, if they go into a lockdown, they cannot survive because most of their jobs are hotel jobs, most of their jobs are restaurant jobs, most of their jobs are compared to concerned with travel tourism. Whereas cities like Bangalore, I can be rest assured that even after 5 years of lockdown, 10 years of lockdown, cities like this will not have problem because you have people who use laptops, who use mobiles, work, and their income gets generated around this. You know, maybe the salaries might have been reduced, but a lot of companies survive in the city. Whereas you might see if lockdown goes ahead, let's say for another 2 months, another 1 year, you might see a lot of people going into unemployment, a lot of people going into a lot of trouble in different other parts of India. And when you talk about ecosystem, we have to study a couple of things. We have to study about sources of funds. I, as an entrepreneur, where am I going to get my money from? What are the central government agencies which are going to support me? So quickly, I'll tell you some of the central government agencies. You have SIDBI, you have NABARD, you have NSIC, you have SISI, you have EDI. So I'll repeat them again: SIDBI, NABARD, NSIC, EDI, SISI, and so on. So these are government agencies. Maybe once the class is over, you can look up into this. Yeah, and these agencies they fund entrepreneurs. Yesterday, in our finance minister's speech, she said MSMEs can take loans without any papers. So it's a great thing. Small entrepreneurs can still survive. I don't know how far it's practically possible. You have incubation centers. Incubation is a word you hear in hospitals usually. Uh, I'll ask Rajeshwari what is incubation. Rajeshwari, do you know what is incubation center? Yeah, yeah. So, okay, thanks. You can mute yourself. So, for an entrepreneur, there are incubation centers in the city, in the state. Okay, these incubation centers may be in colleges, where in one room in Bangalore University, as I must have told some of you, there are some colleges, including ours, where we are trying to start an incubation center. So, what happens with an incubation center is one room will be given for a budding entrepreneur so that maybe 5 years down the line he or she is going to start a business, maybe next year is going to start a business. So for that, in that room, particular room, training is given, videos are given, mentors come to that place, they handhold that future entrepreneur. Where did this term come from? Is this term came from hospitals. So what happens in hospitals is, uh, I don't know how many of you have seen in hospitals, there are places where babies are kept who have breathing difficulties, who have problems. And incubators give oxygen, give they are kept under uh, proper watch by nurses and doctors. Similarly, in businesses, we have incubation centers. And through these incubation centers, we understand whether the person can really run his business. We give him training. It's like it's not a real place, it's a real place, frankly speaking, it's a real place, yes. But we inject that dream into the entrepreneur there. Maybe faculties give inputs, maybe entrepreneurs give inputs. Anything can happen in that place. It's just a room where a future entrepreneur and the what do you call business and the mentor gets meets, where they discuss their ideas, discuss their thoughts, and so on. And a couple of more things I need to tell you is uh, in our Prime Minister has created some thoughts and some plans in the country. That's also there in your new syllabus. So what he has created is, you should be aware of Startup India. What is Startup India is this? He wants this is also part of your syllabus. So what our Prime Minister has done is, he has created a Startup India plan. So this is a plan by the government in this country to have new businesses classified as startups, and they get tax exemptions, they get a lot of incentives by the government and so on. You have Stand Up India, which is part of the government's mission with respect to making new entrepreneurs. It's like how a baby walks. So once they have matured, once the entrepreneur is matured into 2 or 5 years of operation, we handhold these entrepreneurs into the next stage of growth. And another thing we need to remember in the third chapter is, we need to remember about Make in India schemes. What is Make in India programs? What are Make in India? Does anyone know? I'll ask Salim, what is Make in India program? Salim, you're there? Okay. Now, Make in India is a government initiative where we want to encourage foreign entrepreneurs to start factories in India. Okay. So when you talk about making, yeah, now what we are doing is for, yeah, it's not just for textiles, it's for any foreign business which which we ourselves are incapable of running. Let's say, yesterday I was telling you about how we have become self-sufficient in masks. When the Prime Minister said that, only I realized this, because it was nowhere in the media. We have become self-sufficient in masks. We have become self-sufficient in PPE equipments. I hope it was not a uh, marketing stunt, but if because even in my place where I stay, I have seen PPE kits being produced by a factory. Yesterday I was in one of the factories next to my place, and I was noticed PPE kits they're making for 200 rupees. I don't know how good is the quality, but I've also ordered some PPE kits for myself. So what is the advantage of these products are is, because we are not capable of producing, we import it. So to avoid that, Indians have decided we are going to make in our own house, and we are going to eat the food from our own land. So that's a Make in India scheme, and it's there only in. It's not a really good idea, but it's a very patriotic thought. It's not a good idea actually, because many countries which have done like this have later on abandoned this, but it has its benefits now. Okay, let's say you want to eat a foreign uh, food product. If that same food product is available, can be made in your country, it's good. If you want to buy the best example of these kind of products were Chinese. Okay, and right now we are trying to copy them. What has happened is any company last week, Indian government allowed any company which has a Chinese presence want to start a factory in India, we can allow them to start. We give them 15-year tax holidays and so on. I don't want to talk about certain countries because I'm on Zoom network. Suddenly realized. So I'm going to stop my talk on that. But what happens is most businesses, we have become patriotic. Okay. Uh, and most Chinese companies, they copy the rest of the world in car models. In every product, Benz, you have their local variant. So what we have done is we have also gone a step further by allowing companies in affected countries to come and start branches in our country. So that's about the third chapter. Anybody has any questions from the third chapter? Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, yes, yes. Y- Yes, exactly. See, if you see around a tree, you see grass, you see insects, you see animals. It's not because of something else, it's because of the tree. Similarly, what we are talking is in business, if let's say we are having a restaurant opened up near Manyata Tech Park or near Hebal, it's because Manyata Tech Park is there. It's because jobs are created there. And that is helping our business. It's because banks are giving loans to these fellows. So ecosystem is whoever is helping your business to grow. It might be government, it might be companies, it might be anything which helps your business earn profits. You know why companies like Infosys earn profits now is because they have Wi-Fi, they have internet, they have a lot of facilities given which were not thought about 10 years back. 10 years back. You're there, class? Anybody is there?